When I was still a servant, we were living on a narrow street. It's now Gavilla's house. There, as it pleased the gods, I grew fond of the innkeeper Terence's wife, Melissa from Taranto. You know, that cute dumpling. However, I did not, by Hercules, love her carnally, nor out of prurience, but rather for her well-manneredness. When I asked her for anything, never she would refuse me, just did it. Had I a coin or two, and I entrusted it to her bosom, she wouldn't fail me even once. Her bedfellow passed away on their estate, so I sought to get out to her by hook or by crook. You see, in times of need a friend shows up. Luckily, my master was out in Capua to turn his rummage into good money. I took the chance and convinced a guest of ours to come with me as far as the 5th milestone. He was, to wit, a soldier, strong as hell. We cleared off around first cockcrow. The moon was shining bright as noon. As we were striding along between the tombs, my fellow headed for the gravestones, while I walked on singing and counted the stones. When at length I looked back for my companion, he was taking off all his clothes and laid them down at the roadside. My breath caught. I stood still as if dead. Then he peed all around his clothes, and suddenly he turned into a wolf. Don't think I'm joking, and nobody's wealth would be enough to make me lie. But what I was going to say, after he had turned into a wolf, he began to howl and ran off into the woods. I first didn't know where I was. Then I went to pick up his clothes. They had turned into stone. Who was ever in such fear of death as I was? So by the mother of dawn I drew my sword and kept striking shadows until I reached my friend's estate. Like a ghost I entered, all out of breath. The sweat dropped from my forelock. My eyes were dead. I could barely gather myself. My dear Melissa wondered why I would take a walk so late, and said, "If you had come earlier, you could at least have helped us, for a wolf had entered the estate and slew all the sheep. Like a butcher he drained their blood. But he didn't have a good laugh, even though he got away, for our servant hit his neck with a lance." After I heard that, I couldn't close my eyes any more, and as soon as it was broad daylight, I fled the house like a robbed peddler. And as I came back to the exact place where the clothes had turned into stone, I found nothing but blood. But when I arrived at home, my soldier was lying in bed like an ox, and a physician treated his neck. I was now sure that he was a werewolf, and henceforth I couldn't eat a bite when he was around, even if you would have beat me up. Others may see what they make of this. If I am lying, I shall incur the wrath of your genies.